Imagine this: you're sitting across from someone you love, yet something feels off. Your heart races, your mind twists every word. You don't realize it yet, but your mind is playing tricks on reality. Every gesture, every glance, is filtered through invisible lenses. These lenses distort, exaggerate, and deceive. They convince you that what you see is truth. You think you know them, but in reality, you know only your interpretations. The illusions your brain builds are stronger than the facts before your eyes. It's urgent that you understand this, because relationships crumble not from betrayal or fate, but from the illusions in your mind. You're losing clarity every day. Most people believe love is about connection, passion, or chemistry. That's comforting. But it's a lie. Your mind isn't a faithful narrator, it's a storyteller with its own agenda. It crafts drama where there is none. It builds obstacles from shadows. The myth we cling to is that understanding each other is simple. That love alone protects against misunderstanding. That trust automatically ensures stability. Here's the truth: your perceptions are flawed, and your emotions exaggerate those flaws. Relationships fail because of what you think is real, not because of reality itself. Insight 1: the frame of perception. You see actions through personal bias. He didn't reply to your text, your mind says he doesn't care. In reality, he's just busy. Your interpretation turns an ordinary delay into rejection. Your brain edits life like a screenplay, not a mirror. Insight 2: projection of fear. You bring your insecurities into every interaction. If you fear abandonment, every minor sign becomes proof of it. A casual comment becomes a verdict, a joke becomes an attack. You project your inner chaos onto the calmness of others. Insight 3: narratives of control. You want certainty in uncertainty. You construct stories about motives and intentions to feel powerful. But those stories are fabrications. The truth is often simple, mundane, and unthreatening. Your mind refuses simplicity, it craves drama. Insight 4: the mirage of consistency. You expect people to behave like characters in your story. When they act differently, you interpret it as betrayal or neglect. But humans are fluid. Your expectation of constant patterns is a trap. Your brain equates deviation with danger. Insight 5: emotion amplification. You feel every slight as a catastrophe. Minor misunderstandings become crises. Your emotions are the magnifying lens of illusion. Each of these mechanisms is invisible, yet they shape your reality. You're living inside a personal theater of distortions. The deeper pain arises when you confuse these illusions with truth. You blame your partner, your circumstances, or even yourself. You don't blame the mind, the silent architect of your delusions. Yet it's the mind that orchestrates most relationship breakdowns. Consider this: your confidence wanes not because of rejection, but because your brain amplifies rejection signals. A neutral word becomes criticism. Your brain's habit loops reinforce suspicion. Each perceived slight strengthens neural pathways of mistrust. This is the unseen erosion of intimacy. You think love is lost; in reality, clarity is lost. The relationship may have potential, but your perception obstructs it. You must start recognizing your mind's patterns. Awareness is the first step to reclaiming reality. Start small. Observe how you interpret neutral actions. Question the assumptions automatically generated by your thoughts. Ask yourself, is this reality or my projection? This simple interrogation begins dismantling illusions. Your emotions are not enemies, they are signals. But unexamined, they become distortion devices. Consider the moment when jealousy rises. You see a harmless interaction and instantly craft a story of betrayal. That story is not a fact, it is a narrative created by your mind. Recognizing this is liberation. Your relationship's health depends on your ability to separate perception from reality. Most fail because they never notice the distinction. Habitual misinterpretations are like weeds. They grow unnoticed and choke intimacy. You must uproot them deliberately. Ask yourself, how often have you reacted to imagined slights rather than actual behavior? More than you realize. Communication falters when illusions dominate. You speak from assumptions, not facts. Misunderstandings multiply. Consider an argument where one side feels attacked and the other confused. Often, both are victims of internal narratives. The mind's illusions act like a lens with a strong filter. Everything is tinted, altered, exaggerated. You believe the colors are reality. Your brain's intent is protection. It's not malicious, it wants you to anticipate threats. But in relationships, this protective instinct misfires. Insight, reality versus interpretation. Two people can see the same event but feel opposite emotions. Your mind interprets context, motives, and tone based on personal history. This is why even compatible couples argue over trivial things. It's not about them, it's about you. The key is understanding that perception is subjective. Your brain writes the script, life just provides the stage. Every minor disappointment is a test. Can you notice the illusion before reacting? Or will you feed the story? Observe your thoughts during conflict. How many are facts? How many are assumptions, fears, or projections? The answer is usually unsettling, most are illusions. But the awareness of this fact is power. The next step is communication. Speak not from certainty, but from curiosity. Ask questions instead of asserting narratives. I felt ignored instead of you ignored me. This subtle shift disrupts the illusion. Your partner's behavior is not inherently threatening. Your interpretation can make it threatening. Recognize the difference. Relationships falter not because people are flawed, but because minds are untrained. Unchecked perception sabotages connection. Consider emotional triggers as signals. When anger rises, ask, is this a reaction to them, or to my own story? You begin to reclaim autonomy over your responses. You stop letting mental illusions dictate emotional outcomes. Intimacy deepens when perception is clarified. Understanding the mind's tricks fosters patience and empathy. Insight, the mirror of self. Your illusions reveal your own insecurities. They are not about the other person. Fear of rejection, inadequacy, or abandonment colors your interpretations. Identifying these fears is crucial. Each identified illusion is a crack in the wall separating you from authentic connection. Repairing these cracks strengthens trust. Practice mindfulness. Observe thoughts without immediate judgment. Label illusions when they arise. Over time, your neural pathways rewire. Repeated recognition of distortion trains clarity. The process is subtle but cumulative. Relationships improve gradually as perception aligns with reality. Trust grows when interpretations are questioned. You stop reacting impulsively to imagined threats. Consider emotional intimacy as a mirror. You see your unexamined mind reflected in interactions. Healing occurs when you confront illusions without defensiveness. The mirror no longer triggers fear. Insight, the power of pause. Before reacting, pause. In that pause, observe the difference between perception and fact. The pause is a weapon against self-deception. It disrupts habitual misinterpretations. It restores agency. Communication transforms when clarity precedes reaction. You stop blaming, start understanding. Emotional transparency becomes possible. You share experiences instead of narratives. Conflict diminishes not because it disappears, but because it's met with insight rather than illusion. The mind's habitual storytelling becomes a conscious choice. You choose whether to believe it. Insight, ownership of thought. You are not your thoughts, but you control your attention. Recognizing thoughts as transient, not truths, creates freedom. Relationships become a dance, not a battlefield. Emotional volatility fades when observation replaces judgment. You witness, you do not assume. Old patterns crumble when met with consistent awareness. Illusions lose power when illuminated. Consider trust rebuilding as a cognitive practice. You train your mind to distinguish signal from noise. Empathy expands because you no longer project fear onto neutral actions. Understanding replaces suspicion. Insight, rewriting scripts. You become aware of recurring mental narratives that harm intimacy. Each story is examined. Where is evidence? Where is assumption? This interrogation strengthens perception. Self-reflection becomes the cornerstone of connection. Your partner's behavior is filtered through clarity, not bias. The mind's illusions shrink when met with curiosity. You move from certainty to exploration. Relationships stabilize as mental filters adjust. Emotional reactions align with reality, not fantasy. Insight, confidence through clarity. The more you see the mind's distortions, the less you fear. Insecurity diminishes because it loses its false fuel, its imagined threats. You act from presence, not fear. Trust deepens because doubt is examined rather than assumed. Connection strengthens naturally. Consider moments of silence. Your mind may invent offenses in absence of communication. Pause, observe, inquire. Silence becomes a canvas, not a minefield. Insight, the illusion of control. Trying to control outcomes intensifies perception distortions. Letting go of control allows reality to speak for itself. Relationships improve as expectations align with truth. Emotional intelligence grows when you separate reality from mental fabrication. You respond rather than react. Every argument becomes an opportunity to notice illusions. Each misunderstanding a lesson in perception. The cycle of misinterpretation can be broken, but only through deliberate awareness. Insight, mindful presence. Stay present in interactions. Observe without judgment. This is not passive, it is the most active form of engagement. Your attention shapes reality. Emotional clarity emerges as a skill. You begin to distinguish signal from noise consistently. Consider moments of jealousy or suspicion. They are indicators of personal mental narratives, not facts. Address them internally before they spill into conflict. This is self-mastery in practice. Insight, internal calibration. Adjust your interpretations before responding externally. Each adjustment reinforces clarity. Each pause strengthens agency. You become a conscious participant rather than a victim of your own mind. Relationship dynamics shift as illusions are exposed. Misunderstandings decrease naturally. Emotional resilience develops. You no longer crumble under perceived threats. Insight, observation over reaction. Witness the mind's impulses. Respond thoughtfully. Patterns of misinterpretation dissolve over time. Connection becomes deeper and more authentic. Awareness is cumulative. The more you notice, the less power illusions have. Consider every conflict as an opportunity to train perception. Each dispute is a classroom for clarity. Insight, reality as teacher. Your partner's behavior is raw material, your mind's distortion is the challenge. Accepting this duality fosters patience. You see life clearly, without unnecessary drama. Emotional freedom grows. Anxiety and insecurity lose their hold. Relationships are no longer battlegrounds. They become experiments in awareness. Insight, the mind as ally. Once you recognize its distortions, it becomes a guide, not an enemy. Your brain can help navigate intimacy once illusions are identified. Its predictive power is repurposed constructively. Observe recurring conflicts. Identify the illusions driving them. Break the cycles consciously. Insight, narrative awareness. Every story your mind tells about your partner is subject to scrutiny. You become fluent in differentiating between reality and imagined drama. You reclaim control. Emotional intelligence deepens further. You respond, understand, and empathize. Trust stabilizes because it is built on observation, not assumption. Misinterpretations fade. Insight, the illusion audit. Regularly review your thoughts about your relationship. Challenge assumptions. This simple practice transforms interactions. You see them, not your projections. Over time, intimacy grows. Communication becomes precise and sincere. Emotional turbulence diminishes. Calm observation replaces reactive chaos. Insight, perception as choice. You choose how to interpret each interaction. Freedom lies in this choice. Each choice reduces suffering. Each deliberate observation enhances connection. Relationships thrive not because of luck, but because clarity replaces illusion. Your mind is no longer a saboteur, it is an instrument of understanding. Awareness is its tuning. Remember this, the truth of your connection is always available if you stop listening to your illusions. Reality awaits behind the mind's smoke. Step into it fully. Observe, question, communicate, and act from clarity. And finally, understand this, the illusions in your mind will never control you unless you let them.